popularizing amongst the youth, and through you also requesting that they, when we have taken so much of effort to make them voters, let them also respond by coming to the polling stations on the date which we'll announce now. Coming to the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, as are again a human face and an inclusive agenda for the electoral rolls. The purity and the inclusiveness and the health of electoral rolls is one of the focus of the Commission, more so this year. So there are two PVTGs in Karnataka, Jhenukurba and Koraga tribes. And the total population is 46,852 and 18 plus is 30,507. And you would be happy to know that we have been able to enroll 100%. Primitive, these two PVTGs. और इनके लिए 40 एथनिक बूथ भी हम बना रहे हैं ताकि वो अपने वैल्यू में अपने तरीके से they feel happy participating in our elections. Similarly for transgenders, total transgenders in the state as per the records of the department concerned is 42,756, and we have been able to enroll through our outreach in our process 41,312, which is again almost complete. कुछ ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो अपने आप को इलेक्टरल रोल में एज ट्रांसजेंडर मार्क नहीं कराना चाहते. हमारी उनसे अपील है कि अगर ऐसे कुछ लोग छूट गए तो जिस फॉर्म में जिस सेंसिटिविटीज के साथ वो अपने आप को अटैच मार्क कराना चाहते हैं, हम उसमें एक कदम उनसे आगे बढ़ के उनकी मदद करेंगे और उनको ऐड करेंगे. नाउ आफ्टर वोटर्स टू गिव यू ए फील एंड ए ओवरव्यू ऑफ द पोलिंग स्टेशंस, there are 58,282 polling stations in the state of Karnataka, of which 20,866 are urban. And I'll tell you what special efforts are required for these urban area polling stations. Average electors per polling stations comes to 883, and we'll be doing as usual the 50% webcasting, which comes to 29,140. On all these sensitive booths which have been identified, we take 4-5 measures. Either there would be a CAPF, or there would be webcasting, or there would be a micro-observer. It's a combination, and cumulatively, through a combination of all of this, we tend to put more vigor and vigil on the sensitive booths. For enhanced voter experience, how do we ensure that voters feel happy, want to come to the booth and take part in the festival of democracy? There would be close to 1,320 polling stations which would be managed exclusively by the women. ये भी उनके हर इलेक्शन में हम कर रहे हैं, उनके एक एम्पावरमेंट का भी पार्ट है. There is a feeling that yes, we can do it, and election exercises in the even remote places. There were booths in the recently held elections which were all managed by the women, including the security personnel. और इसी तरीके से 240 पोलिंग स्टेशंस would be मॉडल पोलिंग स्टेशंस, जिसमें इको फ्रेंडली और ग्रीन बूथ्स उनको बनाएंगे. और ये भी एक नया प्रयास शुरू किया है कि जब यूथ नहीं आते हैं वोटिंग में, तो हम पोलिंग स्टेशंस को भी अपने यूथ जो एम्प्लॉयज हैं उनसे मैनेज करें. तो जो भी यंगेस्ट एम्प्लॉयज हैं, जिस डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जो भी अपॉइंटमेंट्स रिसेंट हुए हैं, उन्हीं को ट्रेन करके उनको भी एम्पावर कर रहे हैं. तो इसलिए 224 such booths would be set up, which would be managed by only the youngest possible the employees of the government, and 100 booths would be managed purely by the persons with disability. We have started another attempt from the last 3 elections, which is an ongoing effort, that we want to make now the availability of AMF almost permanent in all these schools. And here in Karnataka, we are progressing quite well. As you would see on the slide, we are almost 98-97% in terms of all the parameters, which are ramps, toilets, electricity. I am sure that, and hopefully, in this election, the time is still there till the elections polling stations are prepared. Whatever 1 or 2% in each category is left, we have emphasized to the state government, for which we have got a quite firm assurance that they will try and convert 100% facilities in all these schools on a permanent basis. And if this happens, which I'm sure, which we are all sure would happen, that's a goal to aspire for the elections coming during the current years, in the later this year, and also the general election. So friends, now coming to the urban apathy. This is one area, as I said, that in Karnataka the areas of concerns would be different. So urban apathy is one, and money power is another, which will come to after this. So in urban apathy, the total voter turnout in the state is 72.4 in 2018. Against this, as you know, the overall country, if you look at the 2019 general elections, तो जो 20 टॉप के कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज हैं जिनमें सबसे कम वोटिंग हुई, उनमें से 9 अर्बन एरिया में, इसके नाम यहाँ दिए हैं, मैं ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ना चाहता, but they are in the top 20. And if you look at the Karnataka, तो जहाँ 72% वोटिंग है, वहाँ बेंगलोर के साउथ, नॉर्थ, सेंट्रल और बंगलौर में वो वोटिंग काफ़ी कम है. 57, 51, 53, 55, 57 as against 72. And another disturbing trend is that it is reducing even from the earlier election, 2013 election. It was even more in 2013. It is reduced in 2018. So when we went there, we did call a large number of universities, students, and talk to them. And then we also decided that in addition to the awareness activities like the electoral literacy clubs and the voluntary action forums, we'll also do because the Karnataka and Bangalore happens to be the knowledge city and the IT city of the country. So why don't we take advantage of their expertise? So we requested the IT sector, and through you we want to thank that IASC came forward, and they are doing an electhon. Instead of hackathon, we are saying it electhon. For what? They say, we are saying that how to enhance the participation of urban and youth. Can we technologically connect to them more? Can we do outreach in a different way? And how to ensure the registration of new voters more and more? We don't have to work so hard. Is there a problem with our software? Is there a way we can motivate them to do it? How can, from the universities, or from the colleges, schools rather, from the 12th, almost everybody becomes 18. 12 years, 12th class when you pass plus 5 if you add, तो mostly 17, 17 and a half and 18. तो आप वोट तो देना शुरू कर रहे हैं, बट आपको एक कमिटमेंट की जरूरत है. तो इस इलेक्थॉन में हमने ये भी रखा है कि डिवाइस ए सॉल्यूशन दैट हाउ कैन इट बूस्ट वोटर टर्नआउट ऑन द इलेक्शन डे. और उसका भी एक मेथड हमने और अपनाया, वो भी आपको मैं अभी आगे बताऊंगा. ये कितनी इंस्टीट्यूट्स हमारे साथ इसमें जुड़ गई हैं. इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस, large number of startups, large number of IT professionals. So we are thankful to all of them. And 47% have added on working on how to do the registration free. Some are working easily. Some are working with us on how to make the youth turn out on the day of election. So this result we will again share with everybody when it comes, the solutions when they are given, and जो आने वाले इलेक्शन से उसके लिए हम लोग समझते हैं कि ये एक हमें ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी या ऐसी आउटरीच बताएगा जो उनकी समझ में आती है, बिकॉज इट्स ए प्लेस वेयर यू हैव मोस्ट ऑफ द एजुकेटेड यूथ and the urban areas. As regards the candidates, you are all aware, just to repeat the same thing, the know your candidate and the affidavits, all this are available through the technology. Knowing the candidate is possible through the know your candidate application. And for political parties, these applications are helping them to file the nominations online and to also apply for the entitlements which they have in terms of passes or in terms of booking the grounds for the election rallies, etc. And it is all strictly, everyone has been instructed to follow first in, first out principle. जिसने पहले अप्लाई किया उसका डिजिटल ट्रेल उसमें रहेगा. ऐसा नहीं कि अप्लाई एक पार्टी ने किया और आपने दूसरी पार्टी को जगह दे दी. नहीं, इट इज ए फेयर एंड लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड विच दे हैव टू एंश्योर. सी विजिल ऐप की काफी प्रचार कर्नाटका के इलेक्शन में किया है, बिकॉज ये वहां बहुत रिलेवेंट है. बिकॉज what new challenge we found in Karnataka is, in addition to the youth and urban apathy, is the money power. So this is being popularized a lot, and I'll share with you, even before MCC, what had happened. MCC will come in force from today. But when we went there, I'll show you, just because of our sincerity on this subject and telling the district officials and enforcement agencies what is the result. I'll show you that. So before coming to that, just to narrate that in recently held elections, total number of polling stations are given here, and there was no repolling. So we want to carry forward this trend. No violence, no repolling, and no और ईवीएम भी बच गई, उनको भी गाली वाली ज़्यादा नहीं पड़ी. सो मतलब उसी चीज़ को आगे बढ़ाने हुए हमने वहाँ काफ़ी कोशिश की है कि जितने भी पोलिंग स्टेशंस हैं उनमें आप ऐसे प्रोसेसेस को अपनाएंगे, डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट्स आर ऑन द जॉब, that they make the experience for the voter very good, so that they are encouraged to come. And some are working even on applications where, if we can tell in advance the queue, so that you can plan your visit to the polling station and avoid standing on the thing. This is also a work in progress. The seizures in these 5 elections, just to tell you the kind of rigor and emphasis जो elections को inducement free कराने में किया जा रहा है. 5 elections जो अभी होके चुके हैं उनमें 18 और 17 में जो इससे पहले हुए थे, 43 करोड़ के अगेंस्ट में 1028 करोड़ का सीजर था. एंड इसमें ड्रग सीजर्स, बिकॉज we are saying liquor, drug, money, freebies, and drug in particular, because वो पूरी की पूरी सोसाइटी को और बच्चों को खराब करने की उनमें क्षमता है. So all enforcement agencies, we have said that there is a absolute strict vigil you have to have on movement of any kind of material which can induce the elections, and fairly. And I'll show you what has happened. We are strengthening our teams in Karnataka to curb the misuse of money power. From 1,900 in 2018, we are increasing to 2,400. These are the teams which will have the sensitive constituencies, expenditure observers we are increasing, assistant observers, flying squads, and all to put extra pressure and make it clear to all political parties and candidates that money power, they have to just zero tolerance, which we are showing from our sides. And just to tell you that the state has 19 districts. Total 171 interstate checkposts are being operationalized for this purpose, where Excise Department, Commercial Tax Department, Police Department, and even the Forest Department in areas where the forests are there and there are checkposts. They may not be the highways or the state ways, but there are the points of entry. All places there would be a strict vigil. And nudging towards ethical elections, there are exercises which are being done, with the awareness which is being done, say for instance, this is by the commercial department. And just to tell you, it's another, when we talked about it in Nagaland, from civil society, there were groups formed in the villages, and villagers came out resisting anybody who was trying to bribe the voters in the villages. I'm repeating it here just to encourage and thank those citizens who have helped us in curbing the menace of money power. And you see, we have directed all the enforcement agencies, which include the state police, state excise, narcotics, coast guards, ED, airport authority, state level committees, bankers committee. What is their role, just in brief? जितने एयरपोर्ट्स हैं वहाँ और जितने लैंडिंग एयर स्ट्रिप्स हैं, इवन चॉपर्स, they will all landings will be checked, so that there is no way that they can be used for movement of any kind of what you call the money or something. इसी तरह से जो check posts और special highways which have been identified, and godowns which are in under the commercial taxes department, warehouses, liquor, all have been mapped, so that there is no increase or a trend of goods coming there. Similarly for freebies, eBay bills are being checked to see in any particular district if there is an increase of the material getting entry to those particular districts. SLBC, we have also requested all the banks, directed them actually, that no movement of the vans which carry cash to fill the ATMs will happen during the late hours, so that they cannot be used. At times, such vans are used for carrying cash. All that has been stopped. In terms of what happened in Karnataka after our last visit, which was, see just some pictures. Even MCC has not come into force. And this is across the parties. Freebies, cash, liquor, all that have been started already having been seized. And it has already crossed almost what was seized during the elections last time. And I want to thank the district administration and enforcement agencies on this, because having by and large tackled the issue of muscle power in the elections, this is now the focus and the time that we handle the money power also. And before MCC comes into being, because हमने उनको यही कहा कि MCC का मुहूर्त क्यों देखना है, आपके पास तो सेक्शंस हैं आईपीसी की. अगर कोई भी ब्राइब के लिए, वोटर्स को इंड्यूस करने के लिए अगर अभी से सामान लेके आ रहा है, उस पर कैंडिडेट का नाम लिखा हुआ है बैग के ऊपर, कुकर के ऊपर रखे हुए हैं ये गोडाउन, इसमें देखिए आप लिखे हुए हैं, नाम भी लिखे हुए हैं, तो उसको सीज करके उस पर क्रिमिनल केस करने के लिए एमसीसी की जरूरत क्यों है? एंड थैंकफुली ऑल ऑफ देम हैव रिस्पॉन्डेड, एंड वी आर श्योर दैट दिस विल पीक नाउ. एंड अगेन थ्रू योर मीडियम वी वांट टू से दैट citizens also help us by using C-Vigil more and more, and it is our guarantee that in 100 minutes we will not only reach there, we will also report back saying as to what had happened. So friends, now coming to what you have been waiting for. The schedule for the Karnataka Assembly elections for 2023 would be like this. The Gazette notification would be issued on 13th of April. Last date of making nominations would be 20th of April. Date of scrutiny would be 21st April 2023. After that, the withdrawal of the candidature can be up to 24th of April. The polling will take place on 10th of 5 in single phase, and day of counting would be 13th of May. So this is the schedule for the Karnataka elections. There are also some by-elections which are due in the country in various legislative assemblies and parliamentary constituents. So we are simultaneously announcing the by-elections also. So the by-elections will take place for the assembly in Odisha, Jharsuguda, in UP, in Suar, UPAC 34, 395 Chanabe in UP, Soyong in Meghalaya in 23, and also in the parliamentary constituency number 4 in Jalandhar. So this will fill up all our vacancies till February 2023. So this is the schedule, and I once again, before ending, through the friends from media, I want to appeal to all the voters of Karnataka, young, urban areas, rural area, PVTGs, women, transgender, PWDs, senior citizens, to please come forward and take part in the Festival of Democracy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We'll now be able to take questions. राइट से शुरू करते हैं, नीरज।
हेलो सर, नीरज हूँ न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से। कर्नाटक विधानसभा चुनाव की घोषणा आपने कर दी एक चरण में, और कई बाई इलेक्शन की भी घोषणा की है। वायनाड लोकसभा उपचुनाव, वायनाड सीट भी खाली हो गई है। चुनाव आयोग को जानकारी लोकसभा सचिवालय की तरफ से भेज दी गई है। वहां उपचुनाव की घोषणा आज आपने नहीं की है, आने वाले दिनों में करेंगे या कोर्ट की कार्रवाई का इंतजार करेंगे, क्योंकि 30 दिन का वक्त राहुल गांधी को मिला है।
Another question here. आपने ब्रह्म प्रकाश, आपने।
सर, ब्रह्म प्रकाश दुबे हूँ जी न्यूज़ से। मेरा सवाल यह है कि आमतौर पर वोटिंग के दौरान जो मैंने देखा है कवरेज के दौरान दिक्कत होती है कि लोगों के पास कई बार इलेक्शन आई कार्ड होता है लेकिन वोटिंग लिस्ट से उनका नाम गायब होता है। ऐसे कई इंसिडेंट्स होते हैं। तो इन चुनाव के दौरान उन लोगों के लिए किस तरह से व्यवस्था होगी कि कई लोग कहते हैं कि हमारा नाम कटवा दिया गया यहाँ से जबकि वोटिंग कार्ड है, तो क्या मैकेनिज्म है? थैंक यू।
हेलो दीक्षा।
Hi sir, Deeksha Bhardwaj from Hindustan Times. Sir, my question is regarding EVM, since you mentioned the opposition parties have come together and they've alleged that they're going to take up the issue of EVM tampering and EVM frauds. What is the response from the Commission on this? Because they're saying that their questions have so far not been answered.
पूनम, आपने।
नमस्कार, मैं पूनम हूँ अमर उजाला से। सर, मेरा प्रश्न है, आप लोग इतना प्रयास कर रहे हैं लेकिन पिछले चुनाव में भी जो शहरी मतदाता हैं उनकी उदासीनता कम होने का नाम नहीं ले रही है। इस मर्तबा कर्नाटक चुनाव में इसकी पुनरावृत्ति न हो, इसको लेकर क्या प्रयास किए गए हैं?
पहला प्रश्न लेता हूं मैं, जो इलेक्शन आई कार्ड ना हो तो क्या करेंगे वोटर्स। तो पहली बात तो उनको अभी से वोटर किस बूथ में कौन वोटर्स हैं इसकी लिस्ट अभी से अवेलेबल है। एप्लीकेशन है हमारा, उसमें वो अभी से अपना नाम और पोलिंग स्टेशन चेक कर सकते हैं। तो ये तो पहली बात है। सो इट्स बेटर टू चेक इन एडवांस। और अगर किसी वजह से अभी नाम नहीं है तो वो नाम भी अभी ऐड हो सकता है। वो नाम भी नॉमिनेशन के दिन तक, लास्ट डे ऑफ नॉमिनेशन तक अभी भी नाम ऐड हो सकता है, विच इन दिस केस इज 20 अप्रैल। तो 20 अप्रैल तक अभी भी नाम ऐड हो सकता है। उन्हें चेक कर लेना चाहिए, ऐड हो जाना चाहिए, और इसके लिए टेक्नोलॉजिकली हमारे ऐप पर भी व्यवस्था है और ARO के पास भी व्यवस्था है और पोलिंग स्टेशन वाइज लिस्ट पे। तो ये पहली बात है। दूसरी बात, अगर उनके पास बाई चांस इलेक्शन आई कार्ड नहीं है तो उससे कोई परेशानी की जरूरत नहीं है। देयर आर 15 मोर डॉक्यूमेंट्स विच दे कैन ब्रिंग। उसकी लिस्ट पूरी आज मैंने नहीं दिखाई, मैं अभी उसको ट्वीट करा दूंगा, सबके साथ शेयर हो जाएगी। उसमें ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस है, पासपोर्ट है, राशन कार्ड है, बिजली का बिल है, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं। मोरलेस कोई ना कोई चीज उनके पास होगी ही। तो हमारा पूरा प्रयास होगा कि वो बूथ पर आए और आने के बाद उनको वोटिंग करने के लिए अनेबल किया जाए। क्या था बताइए।
इलेक्शन के दौरान कि उनके पास वोटिंग आईडी कार्ड होता है, लेकिन जब उस पोलिंग बूथ पर जाते हैं तो उनका नाम लिस्ट से गायब होता है, तो वो वोट नहीं कर पाते। ऐसा मैंने कई बार विधानसभा चुनाव या लोकसभा चुनाव में देखा है, तो उनके लिए क्या मैकेनिज्म?
तो उसके लिए मैंने जो पहला आंसर दिया वो है कि अभी से उस एप्लीकेशन जो हमारी है उस पर जाके, वोटर हेल्पलाइन पे जाके अपना नाम और अपना बूथ नंबर अभी से देख लें, और उसमें भी अभी हमारे पास में ये समय उपलब्ध है। और इन एनी केस उनको कहीं ना कहीं बूथ में नाम तो होगा ही, अगर ये लास्ट टाइम से चेंज भी हुआ है किसी वजह से, तो उसका पब्लिकेशन किया गया है। उनके कैंडिडेट के पास भी लिस्ट है, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के पास भी लिस्ट है, उनके पास भी टेक्नोलॉजिकली देखने की व्यवस्था है। अर्बन अपैथी के बारे में पूनम जी ने पूछा, तो दो तीन बातें हम कहेंगे कि एक तो ये पूरा एजेंडा अर्बन अपैथी का अब कम से कम मेन डिस्कोर्स में आ गया है। अब आपने ये प्रश्न उठाने शुरू किए हैं और इससे भी जागृति धीरे धीरे नीचे आ रही है। हमने भी थोड़ा ज्यादा बोल्ड होकर वो जगहें जहां पर वोटिंग कम होती है और अर्बन एरिया है, उनका नाम और उनकी जगह दिखानी शुरू की है, विद ओनली एन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ रिक्वेस्टिंग द वोटर्स ऑफ दोज एरियाज टू प्लीज कम फॉरवर्ड। इसके हम समझते हैं परिणाम सामने आएंगे। जैसे आपको एक उदाहरण अभी बताता हूं, कर्नाटका में ही जो RWAs हैं, उन्होंने एक नया अभियान शुरू किया है, कुछ RWAs ने, कि वो अपने यहां एक इसका अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम चलाएं और अपने अपार्टमेंट्स में रहने वाले लोगों को इस तरीके से मोटिवेट करें कि वो उस दिन आ सकें। सो देयर इज ए फार मोर अवेयरनेस, देयर इज ए criticality attached to it now amongst the youth and also amongst the urban areas. In times to come, we are sure we'll also step up our awareness program. We'll have very targeted, focused sweep and other activities. And आप सबकी मदद से आर्टिकल्स आएंगे, आपकी मदद से ये बातें लिखी जाएंगी, तो लोगों को भी बाहर निकलने का पड़ेगा। हाँ, और एक चीज मैं बताना भूल गया, इसके लिए हमने एक काम और किया है इस बार। जो डेट ऑफ पोल है वो वेडनेसडे को रखी है। ये दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, आई फॉरगॉट टू मेंशन दिस। मंडे होती तो फ्राइडे सैटरडे की छुट्टी के साथ मिलती है, ट्यूसडे होता तो एक दिन की छुट्टी लेने से बाहर जा सकते हैं, 4 दिन की मिलती है। अब वेडनेसडे में तो 2 दिन लेनी पड़ेगी, जो जरा मुश्किल है। सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव डन इन कर्नाटका टू कीप इट ऑन वेडनेसडे। सो आई एम श्योर दैट अब उतना लोग शायद नहीं सोएंगे, बाहर तो नहीं जा सकते, अब तो आ जाएंगे, मतलब फिर अपील करेंगे उनसे आपके थ्रू। दीक्षा जी ने ईवीएम के बारे में पूछा, बहुत बार इसका जवाब दिया जा चुका है, दोबारा से और इसको आर्ग्यू करना और इसको बताना मैं नहीं चाहता, एक्सेप्ट द पॉइंट दैट लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था में पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का एक बहुत ही बड़ा योगदान है, एक बहुत बड़ी महत्ता है उनकी। दे आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स। तो उनका विश्वास हर चीज पे होना हो, ये हमारी भी जिम्मेदारी है। तो हमें जब भी जो बात आपने पूछी वो जब भी हमने भी सुना, लेकिन हमें मिला नहीं है कुछ ऐसा, जब भी मिलेगा हम जरूर कोशिश करेंगे कि उनको हर तरीके से कन्विंस करें। पहले भी करते रहे हैं, अभी भी करेंगे। वैसे बाय द वे, जितने भी अभी तो पिछले 5 इलेक्शन में तो ये मुद्दा आया ही नहीं, 100 वोट से भी कम की मार्जिन थी और लोगों ने खुशी से एक्सेप्ट किया, कैंडिडेट्स ने भी विरोध नहीं किया। और करने की गुंजाइश, इसमें 2 बातें, एक टेक्नोलॉजिकल बात है, एक प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड बात है। सो टेक्नोलॉजी चलिए एक तरफ बात करते हैं अभी, बट प्रोसेस, मशीन कहां जाएगी, FLC किसके सामने होगी, सिंबल लोडिंग कैंडिडेट्स के सामने होगी, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के सामने होगी, स्टोरेज उनके सामने होगा, कौन सी मशीन का नंबर क्या है उसकी लिस्ट उनको दी जाएगी, ट्रेनिंग में कौन सी मशीन है ये अवेलेबल रहेगा, वेयर हाउस।
Welcome and thank you so much for staying with Sierra News 18. The big poll announcement for Karnataka has happened. 10th of May is when the state goes into polls. It's a single-phase election. So they stayed with convention when it is about the single-phase polling in the state of Karnataka. And 13th of May is when the counting happens. Even as the announcement is currently going on and the press conference is currently ensuing, we are having our colleagues on ground to take us through what is now expected in this high-stakes battle. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Griha Atul Siddiqui, and let me bring in my colleagues on the broadcast. Harish is joining us live from DK Shivakumar's residence in Bengaluru. Akshara, my colleague, is live from outside Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai's residence in Karnataka. And also live is DP Satish, who's live from Bengaluru with us. And Sharon joins us from the Election Commission's press conference that's currently underway. I'll come to you, Harish, first. What is the word and mood from the Congress camp at the moment?
Well, the initial reaction coming in from the Congress camp is that they're happy that one, it's a single-phase election. Second, not too much of time between the polling day and the counting day, because there was fear among certain leaders of the Congress that the BJP would prefer a two-phase election, which means it gives that much more time to get Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah to campaign extensively in Karnataka. That hasn't happened. Remember, that was a grouse of the Congress party in some other states when there was a two-phase election. So they're saying it's a welcome calendar of events that the EC has released, and we are happy not too much of time is being wasted between polling and counting. Now the question is, all these parties have to ensure that within the next 22 days, they will have to finish their candidate announcements as well, because nomination dates too will come close. So they will have to ensure they finalize their candidates for all the seats, and the Congress party now, we understand, is also on that job.
Right. Pallavi also is with us. Let me bring Pallavi in at the moment. Pallavi, it has been a revolving door result since 1989 when it is about the state of Karnataka. Of course, a lot at stake for both BJP and Congress. But the word coming in from the Congress party, considering this is a single-phase election once again announced out of Karnataka, the kind of plan that they are choosing to put in place, because there's too many controversies that have just begun to ensue even before the poll date announcement. Now the model code of conduct is in place. What is it the Congress party is now deliberating on doing? Because this is the one state that they had decided to go ahead all guns blazing with all the tall leaders of the Congress party in attendance before the poll date announcement.
You're absolutely right, Griha, because the Congress is often being accused of being lazy when it comes to campaigning and dealing with state elections, often beginning a little bit too late. But this time round, the Congress has begun their groundwork much earlier, almost a year back. They've also announced the first list, which is a substantial chunk of the election list, poll list of candidates, pretty early. So in that sense, the Congress party seems to be a little bit more organized, superficially at least. But the first reaction has already come in from Mr. Randeep Surjewala, who happens to be in charge of the Karnataka state for Congress party. And just one line from his tweet where he said, let's rebuild brand Karnataka, and we want to rid the state of the 40% Sarkar and its basic loot and its brazen loot. So clearly the pitch of the Congress party is going to be providing an alternative to the corrupt government of the BJP in Karnataka. That's going to be the pitch. Also, that's one concern which the Congress has been raising as much as the voters list is concerned. So picking up these factors, Karnataka electoral results becomes very critical for the Congress party, Griha, because this is exactly what we have been talking about since morning. Everything is at stake. It's a litmus test. It's a litmus test for the Bharat Jodo Yatra to a certain extent. It's a litmus test for the Congress's and the opposition's pitch against the BJP and the central government. And more importantly, the Congress hopes to reap benefits from Rahul Gandhi's disqualification. I think this is the opportunity to use the words of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra at the closed-door meeting, that the only and the best way we can rebut the BJP is by winning this state election.
Right. Pallavi, thank you so much. Keep coming back to you. I also would like to bring in our colleague Maria Shakil, who's joining us on the phone line at the moment. I'd also like to introduce Ridhima, who is with us here in the studio on the magic wall. So she'd be breaking down all the caste arithmetic that comes into play when it is about elections in Karnataka. But before we do that, let me actually bring in Maria. Maria, right before the poll date announcement, the big move by the BJP government in the state was to take away the 4% quota from the OBC Muslim community, give it to the Lingayat Vokaliga community, and that was the talk of the town. Much controversy has happened. Now, what is the move that the BJP is going to go ahead with, considering there are cases pending in the court? There is a lot of uproar within the community. There are backward communities that are actually up in arms against the move. There have been, various instances Like, for that matter, stone pelting outside Yadurappa's residence by the Banjara community. How is the BJP choosing to deal with all of this?
Well, I think the BJP has made a calculated move. They understand that the Vokaligas and the Lingayats are a powerful and an influential community. This is the constituency that the BJP knows fully well. If that constituency backs them in roughly around 150 constituencies, they have an impact. And the BJP will be able to return to power. If you look at the optics that have emerged from Karnataka in the last few months, it becomes important, Griha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he arrived in close to a constituency which was next to Shivamoga, he held B.S. Yedurappa's hand and then they walked together. Recently, Home Minister Amit Shah has, went to B.S. Yedurappa's home and had a meal with him. B.S. Yedurappa is also now a member of the BJP parliamentary board. This is a recognition that his role becomes very important for the BJP. Undoubtedly, he remains the only BJP leader who is acceptable pan-Karnataka and perhaps the tallest leader that the party has in the state of Karnataka. And when the party went for this move of 4%, reducing it from the Muslim backward and saying that, it should be distributed among the Vokaligas and Lingayats, it's a calculated move, as I said. The BJP also understands that the only way to counter the narrative of corruption of the state government, of a failure of Bommai government, is by sending a message that the center is going to oversee the projects of Karnataka now onwards. If you look at it, the Prime Minister has been in and out of Karnataka. He has inaugurated a number of projects, laid the foundation stone of a number of projects, sending a message of double-engine government. So when you look at going ahead, what is the BJP's challenge going to be? They understand that this is a state which is the flow to the south. They understand that this is a state which must be won because this is the only state in southern India which is governed by the BJP. They would do everything possible and in the book to ensure that this state is won. They understand that there are challenges of anti-incumbency, but we have seen how in the past the BJP has countered anti-incumbency by sending a message that this is a vote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Prime Minister at the center is ensuring trickle down of government schemes. The Prime Minister at the center is overseeing various projects, and hence the vote in Karnataka will also be vote for brand Narendra Modi.
Right. Maria, thank you so much for that. Ridhima is here with us on the magic wall. So Ridhima, you'd have to break down the caste arithmetic in the state of Karnataka. What does it really mean for both the Congress and the BJP, and of course also the other players like the JDS?
Well, Greg, before we get into the caste arithmetics, let's just give our viewers an overview of what we had seen as far as the last results were concerned, which was the 2018 Assembly. This time around as well, as you and Maria were rightly pointing out, it's a three-cornered fight. And what is convention that we've seen in Karnataka has been a single-phase election, exactly what we're seeing this time around as well. So if you break down the last number, there are 224 constituencies at stake, out of which the BJP had managed to gain 104. The Congress was reduced just about 80. The JDS at 37, and the others were 3. There was, of course, a coalition that we'd seen in the past. This time around, as we pointed out, it's a three-cornered fight between the BJP, the Congress, and the JDS. What is also important to point out is the vote percentage. Now, this obviously becomes very interesting. So, if you look at the vote percentage, it was at 38.05 as far as the Congress was concerned. The BJP had just about 36.24, but they'd still managed to get about 104 seats. This time around, a lot of things have changed. As far as the Chief Minister is concerned, we've seen a change of face for the BJP. Baswaraj Bommai was brought in. For the BJP, as Maria was rightly pointing out, the Karnataka elections, one, will solidify their position as far as their entry into the south is concerned, but also will set the stage as far as 2024 is concerned. For the Congress party, they've just had the Bharat Jodo Yatra, so has that able to have some sort of connect on the ground, and will that turn into votes and numbers for them? That will be very important as far as the Congress is concerned. For the JDS, as of now, they've maintained an equidistant both from the BJP as well as the Congress. So will they be the kingmaker? Issues for the BJP, as we've been pointing out, are many. As far as allegations of corruption are concerned, the 40% Sarkar, that's the jibe that is coming from the Congress party. Will they be able to fight anti-incumbency? For the Congress, of course, infighting still continues. Who really is their chief ministerial face? Will they be able to put all of that behind and manage to turn some numbers in their favor. So this will be very interesting for the BJP, as we pointed out, to solidify their position, to have that hold as far as their entry into South is concerned, and of course, when as we move towards 2024.
Thank you so much for that, Ridhima. Let me, on that note, bring in DP Satish, who's also with us on the broadcast. DP, this very point that Ridhima was also making, how this has been a revolving door results ever since 1989. So important election for both the Congress and the BJP. But what is happening in the national capital and otherwise in the rest of the states that have been spearheaded with protests that have been led by the Congress party on the grounds of corruption or the demand for a JPC, all of that, and then spilling over to Karnataka with that entire jibe at the Basavaraj Bommai government and the 40% commission sarkar. How much of that is going to find resonance and is in turn going to impact the BJP in a detrimental fashion when it is about elections in Karnataka?
See, are we going to have a hung assembly or are we going to have a government with a clear majority? That is the question everyone is asking in Karnataka. In the last 19 years, since 2004, we have seen 3 assemblies with no clear mandate. In 2004, under SM Krishna, Congress lost badly and BJP won 79 seats, Congress 65 and JDS 58 seats. This was a badly fractured mandate. Again in 2008, BJP won 110 seats, but they fell short of majority by just 3 seats. Somehow they managed to form the government. Again in 2018, Congress under Siddaramaiah lost power. BJP could win 104 seats. They needed 9 more seats. Finally, they came to power through backdoor after 14 months. Everyone is asking the same question again. Will there be a hung assembly again or will there be a government with a clear mandate? Because since 1999, only twice we have had government with clear mandate. In 1999 under SM Krishna, Congress got clear majority. In 2013 under Siddaramaiah, we have got clear majority. At the same time, as Pallavi has already pointed out, for the first time in the history of Congress, Congress is fighting the election systematically, because they have been making preparations for the past 1 year and they have released a list of candidates, 124 last week, and they have also got Mr. Sunil Kanugodu, who was earlier BJP's campaign strategist, election strategist, to strategize Congress's election. And JDS declared its list 6 months ago, at least 100 candidates. But look at the BJP, the ruling party BJP looks directionless because they haven't released the list of their candidates. Chief Minister Bommai is there, but he is not charismatic like his predecessor B.S. Yediyurappa. Yediyurappa was removed 2 years ago because of his age and other factors. But BJP has brought him back to lead the party in the Karnataka Assembly elections, and Yediyurappa is leading the party campaign in Karnataka, not the Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai. And BJP is also facing charges of massive corruption, that alleged 40% commission charges, and also different cats, subcats, they are up in the arms for or against reservation and reservation for subcaste and reservation quota, all kinds of things. And BJP is pinning its hopes on Prime Minister Narendra Modi because they are hoping that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the only man who can turn the tide in favor of BJP. Because BJP is trying to nationalize the election, meaning they want to fight this election on national issues instead of state issues. But Congress wants to fight this election on local issues because Congress has localized the election because they know that if they raise national issues, they will walk into the trap of the BJP. That's why they want to localize the election. And many on the ground, they don't even want Gandhi siblings to come and campaign much because they think it can work against them. And JDS led by the Gowdas has already declared that they are going to come to power on their own. But it's an outlandish statement. No one believes that with their presence in 5-6 districts, they won't be able to win more than 40-45 seats. But here BJP wants to get a clear majority for the first time in Karnataka. And Congress also wants to get a clear majority. But a hung assembly will benefit JDS. If there is no hung assembly, JDS will lose its political relevance in the state. If Congress loses this election, and it will be over for Congress because Siddaramaiah is fighting his last election and he will have no interest in continuing in the Congress or at least leading the party. And DK Shivakumar has high stakes, and if he loses this election, DK Shivakumar will be removed as state Congress president and he will have to make way for someone else. And if BJP retains power, will they continue with Basavaraj Bommai or will there be a new face? We really don't know. So this election is going to be very, very crucial for all the 3 parties because BJP won't lose much even if they lose this election because they have a strong leadership at the national level. If Congress loses, it will be over for the party. And if JDS loses, and JDS will find it very, very difficult to win the party again.
Right. Thank you so much for that, DP, for explaining that so well on what is it that is looking alike for all the three political parties when it is about the state of Karnataka. But before we go any further into the discussion about the poll date announcement and what is it that is in store for Congress, JDS and also the BJP, let's look at what is it that is when a battleground Karnataka looking like. First of all, we have to talk about how there are about 224 seats that are up for grabs. And if we look at the scorecard of 2018, Congress there with 80 seats, BJP with 104, JDS with 37. So that's what it looked like when it is about the 2018 elections in Karnataka. Now, if we look at what is up for grabs, what is in store this time around, the kind of votes that we are looking at in Karnataka is about more than 5 crore votes. That is the kind of vote percentage, and 49.7% of those are women voters. So that's an important aspect that all the political parties need to look at. If we also talk about how, like I've been mentioning, this has been a revolving door elections results ever since 1989. Another crucial factor, anti-incumbency plays a very, very important role in Karnataka. Also the fact that the Modi magic, which BJP is banking upon and very, very strongly, which will it have any kind of impact when it is about the elections in Karnataka is also the big question. The other big question is the factionalism. That is a big challenge for the Congress party. The infighting. We were talking about Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, whether they are going to see eye to eye when it is about the chief ministerial post is something that is another problem for the Congress party. Another state in Karnataka that is talking about the infighting. The other aspect is about the Ghar Vapsi or the rebel health the Congress will be getting. All of that included the caste arithmetic that we of course were talking about. Let's look at that. 67 Lingayat dominated seats. That's why you've had a Basavaraj Bomai and a Yadurappa, important Lingayat faces that are being fielded from the BJP side. And of course, the big question of the freebies that has been talk of the town when it is about the flood of freebies from all political parties. Of course, now the MCC play, all of that is something will have to take a back seat. Urban seats are also something that we have to look at. Let me bring in my guests on the broadcast now to take this discussion further. Tushar Gupta, the senior editor of the Swaraj magazine, is with us. Also with us is Mr. Rashid Kidwai, who is the author and senior journalist. Mr. Kidwai, I'll start with you first. That important point that, in fact, DP Satish also was making about whether JDS is an important third player in Karnataka. Let's begin with that. Should we actually consider JDS an important factor, or it is just a two-corner fight between the BJP and the Congress party?
Well, in an election, I think every player who's contesting election becomes important, and JDS has a lot of past history. But for the first time, I am sensing that the Congress doesn't want to have any pre-poll arrangements with JDS. So it is going to be a direct contest. Congress seems to be very confident and upbeat about Karnataka elections. Mind you, this is one of the states where the Congress vote percentage, regardless, even in 2018, was more than the BJP. So they think there has been certain consolidation, and Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who's a Congress president, knows Karnataka state at the back of his palm. So he is very sure-footed. So they are not touching JDS with the proverbial barge pole. So whether JDS will be able to cut into the Congress votes or BJP, or emerge as a player that the both BJP and the Congress would seek Mr. Kumaraswamy later on post-poll arrangement, it's in the realm of possibilities. But as things stand, I think as far as Congress is concerned, no trust with JDS is writing on the wall.
Okay. Tushar, let me bring you in here. We were just talking about how a big worry for the Congress is the infighting between the two tall leaders in Mr. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar. How much do you think is that going to be a deterrent for the Congress in Karnataka? Tushar, can you hear me? I don't think we have that audio link through with Tushar. Mr. Kidwai, can I take the same question to you? The infighting that the Congress is looking at, it's not just in Karnataka, but various other states where it is currently holding power. But Karnataka becomes really, really crucial. That infighting between DK Shivakumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah has been out in the open. We've seen an ample show of strength from both of the leaders. How much of that is going to be a deterrent for the Congress party?
Well, theoretically, yes, but I think this story of factionalism in the Congress is highly exaggerated. As far as Karnataka is concerned, both Mr. D.K. Shivkumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah is seasoned, campaigners. They know. Why I'm saying this, because that factionalism is exaggerated, is the fact that for the first time in many years, I would say, as somebody who watches Congress closely, the Congress was able to release a list of 124 party nominees almost a week before the formal announcement, that is today. So of poll dates. In spite of that, there was no bad blood. There was no street fight. There was no demonstration. There was nobody sulking. So I think this tells you that factionalism is there, which is of course a regional aspiration of becoming chief minister. But it has a limitation. Both sides, that being D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, understand and realize that if they fight, then someone else will walk away with this victory. So therefore, they are very restrained and they are waiting and watching. So I think this is a significant and interesting development as far as the Congress, roadmap is concerned.
All right. Mr. Kidwai and Tushar, thank you so much. In fact, stay on with us. Let me actually bring in our political editor, Maria Shakil, who's also joining us from the CNN News18 newsroom. Maria, just taking on from this very point that Mr. Kidwai was making, we are seeing restraint. Do you really consider, because after that entire furor outside Siddaramaiah's residence on the kind of seat that he's going to be fighting for, with his supporters really stronging his residence, all of that drama was something that was seen in Karnataka. Do you think that this is not going to be a deterring factor for Congress at all?
Right now is Congress sending a strong message that Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar are on same page. If you look at the entire campaign move that has been designed, it is also designed to send a message that these two leaders have very distinct strengths and they bring both of that jointly on the table. For the longest time we had heard, and I agree with Rashid Kidwai when he says that that is more or less exaggerated right now, because the Congress is trying to send a message that it is a united group as far as Karnataka is concerned. They understand that there is a lot at stakes. It is about, in the road to 2024, if in this direct fight between the Congress and the BJP, the Congress doesn't come out brave, then it will send a message that Congress is not really in a position to take on the BJP. There are opposition leaders, there are regional parties who will now stake claim in the opposition space to send a message that they are far better in taking on the BJP. Mamata Banerjee, for example, you have an Akhilesh Yadav who will say that he did relatively better from what he did in 2017 in 2022 assembly elections in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So it should be left to the regional players to take on the BJP in these states, and as far as the Congress is concerned, they should be looking at direct fights, which is roughly around 150 Lok Sabha seats. Having said that, this election in Karnataka will be deciding so many things in the opposition space within the BJP. It's a prestige battle. In fact, Dharmendra Pradhan, who has been made in charge of the state of Karnataka, will be coming for a Rising India event in some time, and this will be the question that will be asked to him, particularly to do with 4% reservation, and why is it an afterthought, because you had a government in Karnataka. Why was it done just perhaps less than a week before the model code of conduct was put in place? So all these questions will be put to Dharmendra Pradhan, who is the Karnataka in charge. But I think the larger message that is coming from the BJP here is that this is their window to the south. This is a state which they must win, for sending a message to other states in southern India that the BJP is looking at them favorably. If you look at the aggressive push that the BJP has done in the state of Telangana, where it has come to occupy the opposition space very firmly against KCR, or the state of even I would say Tamil Nadu, where Annamalai is being very aggressively, positioning his party. So the BJP is trying to send a message that yes, it may have become acceptable in the northeast parts of India with the 3 states that went to polls recently. All the 3 states now have a BJP government, BJP coalition government. As far as the moving towards the southern part of India is concerned, Karnataka is that door to it, and that is the reason why we saw that positioning of B.S. Yedurappa. B.S. Yedurappa, as
Yes.
member of the BJP Parliamentary Board, Prime Minister Narendra Modi holding his hands the moment he arrived in Karnataka during the course of one of the election rallies, and also Home Minister Amit Shah visiting B.S. Yedurappa's home, and his son, Mr. Yedurappa's son, was seen serving Mr. Shah. So all these in terms of optics is sending a message of a united BJP, and at the same time the Congress is also trying to send a message that this factionalism between D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah is a thing of the past.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Maria. Let me actually talk more about this caste code in Karnataka. What is it that is the dominant aspect of the caste arithmetic in Karnataka is something that we need to look at. If we begin with the BJP, there you have the current Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Basavaraj Bommai. He's a tall Lingayat leader, and he actually commands the 14% vote share in Karnataka. So that's the target, and he has a strong hold in Hubballi and in the Dharwad areas, and the Haveri district is something. And also if we look at the other strong Lingayat factor, that is Mr. B.S. Yedurappa, that is also something that is an important aspect for the BJP. Looking at the Congress party, if we look at the leader of opposition in the state, Mr. Siddaramaiah, he is a strong Kuruba face, targeting at the 7% vote share. Central and parts of North Karnataka are the dominant constituencies that he commands over. That's an important aspect for the Congress party. Very, very important. Commands a huge clout in the politics in Karnataka. If we look at the other face of the Congress party, let's look at Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress chief.